Hi, Zizaran here with another video. I'm just doing like some interviews with other Path of Exile streamers while I'm farming because I'm playing hardcore and I just want to over farm a little bit in some zones. So I wanted to do a quick talk with Crip and talk about his opinion on PoE 2. And I just watched his Ruthless video, or rather saying that PoE 2 is a lot more similar to Ruthless. And it's actually kind of why I died. It's your fault, Crip. How do you feel about being
I
responsible for my
asked you,
sloppy
and I
death?
have written evidence that I have no responsibility in the death of your character.
That's actually true. Yeah, I was just being
Yeah,
sloppy.
I think it's like a get good situation,
It
dude.
really was. I just didn't pay attention. I didn't look at the game. Um, sort of your fault. You were too distracting. Good video. I
Were
actually
my
agreed with a
opinions
lot of
too
it.
triggering?
Wait, what?
Were my opinions too triggering, I asked.
No, I probably agree with more than what you think. There were, yeah, a few things I disagreed with, like, well, or some things that are very similar to PoE. One already, like the gem progression thing. I actually really agree that I think that is a bit of a painful thing that you can't in the same way over farm. Like it's so much more about gear and so much less about over leveling just to get gems. But obviously, you were talking about you could just buy high level gems off other people. They do have pretty steep level requirements, so you can't bypass them as easy as you can in PoE 1, where you can just buy a level 20 gem for like 45% more damage. Um,
Are the level requirements that much steeper?
yeah, it's 87 for the highest one.
Hmm.
So that does like allay it a little bit. I also think that's not that much of a problem. It's sort of like an okay thing for people that are playing trade anyway. They probably want to be able to like bypass some of the grind, and then you have solo self fun
I
for
mean,
the people
some of
that.
the gear I've seen on the streamers playing trade is like outrageous. Like considering there's basically slam it and pray crafting stuff.
Mhm.
Like I was watching Gazzy's like characters, like wow, his character looks really strong. And then it's like the POB version of maxed out gear in some of those slots. Like
Yeah,
amulet with +2 minion skills, life energy shield, and spirit. It's like, what? Like I'm hoping for a piece with two of those stats at the same time on it.
yeah. I mean, I'm playing SSF, so I feel you there. Like, it's very very different. And like, my first character was a warrior with shockwave totems, and like that only scales from plus skill levels on weapons. And ideally, you want to get that on like a very low level strength requirement thing, which obviously it's quite hard to find solo self on. So I actually I'm waiting with playing that build in SSF until I find that on another character, and then I'll play it later. Um,
Are you terrified of losing your characters?
I mean, I've been pretty okay with it. I just died at level 57, and I'm just going again. I think the build's pretty fine. I
Oh, 57's pretty high.
Yeah, it was my highest. I was really excited to get to maps, and I had so good gear. I res capped. The only thing I didn't have was chaos res, which is what ended up killing me. And I couldn't really take CI, so that was sad. I had 2.5k life at 57, so I was very tanky.
That does seem pretty ridiculous, actually.
Yeah,
What
and
did you die
then
to?
the crystal explosion thing. Like that's why I wasn't paying attention. I
Oh.
was listening to your video and then just didn't really notice it. Just stood inside like a full explosion. So if I was paying
I don't want to
attention,
make you feel worse or anything, but that's like pretty bad, bro. Like that
I
one is in
know,
PoE 1 also, right?
I know. I'm so sad. Yeah, but yeah, no. So how do you feel about the? I don't know if you saw, but they nerfed a lot of the energy related things at the moment.
I basically have been saying that, did I even say in the video? It feels like the spirit costs for everything spirit related is like random. Like,
Yeah,
have you tried using like Brute, which costs 2 arsonists? Just like sucks. And then like SRS is like 5 times the spirit efficiency of any minion.
yeah. SRS is
It's
very efficient.
it just feels like the spirit values for pretty much everything was almost random.
Yeah,
So I'm not surprised to see them change the ones that were really, really cheap.
yeah. No, I agree. And like, I actually another thing from the patch, I actually probably would have lived. I don't know if you saw the block thing in the patch notes, but it's like omnidirectional now, like the passive block. And I
Wait,
have
you use passive block? I only use active block.
so I use
I'm an
both.
active block champ.
Yeah, so I use both, but I had like 36% passive block, and
Hmm.
obviously I probably wasn't facing correctly towards the purple things. And the shield I was using was 100% of damage blocked recouped as mana. So even just some
Oh,
of
that
them.
shield seems pretty busted.
Yeah,
I
it
wanted to
was
try that
in.
with like a MOM build, right?
Yeah, I lost it now.
Oh, rip.
Very sad. It's hard to get specific uniques in SSF. So what's your is are you enjoying PoE2 more or less than you were expecting to?
Um, it's kind of a mix. Like I felt like my initial playthrough in Act 2 was pretty much the worst point ever. And then after I got past that slump, I actually started enjoying it more.
Yeah.
And then I got to maps, and after like a couple days just doing maps, I was just kind of tired of grinding maps.
Yeah.
So then I enjoyed it less.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the thing with like us being ahead and having so much time to dedicate to the game that a lot of people like are like, "Oh, we're out of touch or our opinions are bad." But like I didn't have really any issues during the campaign and I really enjoyed the game, but then I got to maps and I was like, "Oh, this fucking sucks." And Steel as well, like had an experience like that. Like he logged off day one. He's like, "This is awesome. I'm having so much fun." And then he got to maps, and everyone in my chat was like, "Steel is mad. Steel is crying." Um, Obviously, like a lot of those things have been changed already by the patch. But yeah, that was pretty.
A little bit. Like my most displeasing thing with maps was just the combination of like the unfairness of the boss mechanics and some of the overtuned stuff
Yeah.
with the fact that to sustain high maps, at least the first time going in, it'd be like you have to like clear 2 or 3 nothing maps in order to go to a boss node, and that's when you put in your top level map.
Hmm.
And then when I would wipe in that one, it would really feel bad. Like you lose like 30 minutes to an hour of experience. You lose like an hour of just, drooling around the map zone. You lose the map itself, so you might be like actually totally screwed on map progression.
Yep.
It's just like layers on layers of getting screwed. And I get it, they want it to be like brutal, but like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it's worth complaining about it too much. I feel like this is early access related balancing type of
Yeah.
stuff. But it does have a pretty frustrating experience a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do wonder if they'll end up keeping it like that, especially on softcore. Like, obviously, a lot of players do play softcore because they want the slightly easier experience, and softcore feels more like a medium core now, which a lot of people are liking as well, to be fair. Like, there are people in
I
both
did want
camps.
them to do that in
Yeah.
PoE 1, so I'm pretty happy that seems to be their goal in general.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. Like, I've been sort of like waiting a little bit with making too much feedback because I'm like, a lot of it is like, I'm trying to get used to just it's a different game. I'm like not trying to think like how is it in PoE 1 too much. I'm just trying to like improve and deal with issues that are coming up. But the one main issue that I think they should make respec costs like significantly cheaper with how they're
Hmm.
nerfing.
The thing is that the gamble function is really strong, at least in SSF.
Yeah, but they can reduce gold costs that we get or gold drops.
They could reduce what?
Gold drops. Like just make us get less
Oh,
gold and either like make respec free or cheaper for 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, while the majority of these big nerfs are happening.
I wonder if it would just be like better to have like a respec like item, kind of like they have in D4, where you can just redo your entire character as like one of the rewards from like Sanctum or something.
Yeah, there.
Like it could be like a guaranteed gold chest reward. Like you do have to work for that. Like I don't think the gold keys are usually common or easy.
Sure, but like the main issue that is a struggle for people is let's say that they were playing one of the builds that were overtuned and were really strong. Like right now, like a lot of people are logging in on the cast on freeze build and their build doesn't work at all. So they wouldn't even be able to
Hmm.
do a sanctum and like obtain that respec. So they're basically just being told you have to
Yeah.
start a new character And that is a long campaign for a lot of people.
I mean, yeah, that specific case for sure. In, I mean, I think they still do it, right? It used to be that in PoE 1, if they did like a major patch that would affect some builds significantly, they just hand out like free
Yep.
respects.
They've actually done that for one build now, but that wasn't like. I was surprised they did it for that because it was a bit of a minor thing. They really should have done it for the freeze build.
Did they do it for the stun thing?
Let's see. It was in the patch notes I just read.
Oh, I didn't see. I'm not sure.
Um, let's see. It's in the bug fixes. Um, it's even said something about apologies. Let's see. Fixed a bug where one of the small passive skills in Fleshcrafter cluster was not connected to the notable passive skill. It's possible for your passive skill tree to be reset if you had this cluster allocated. Apologies.
I want some apologies for all the stuff. It's early access, right? Come on, test some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean I'm
I
expecting a lot of changes.
I feel like I feel like if everything was like kind of fair and they didn't nerf stuff, it's like, hey, this is overperforming. We'll just nerf it in 30 minutes this time, right? Like if they didn't do that, I don't think the gold on respec is a problem, but they are doing that. So probably they should just hand out respec
Yeah.
forced stuff all the
Yeah.
time when they do a patch. I think is maybe not the better solution, but I think that's an easier solution for them to just do right away.
Yeah, at least
Like I
for like the first few
I
weeks.
respect quite a lot on my main character, and it did feel pretty expensive,
Hmm.
but it didn't feel like that prohibitive. And like if I played for a few hours, I'd be able to respect most of the entire tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a big
Not too
respec
bad.
from Essence Drain because there isn't that many ways to scale chaos damage at the moment, and we don't really have an ascendancy, especially on hardcore, that does as much. So I just farmed like an hour, and instead of disenchanting rares, I just vendored them all and farmed up like 50k gold and did almost a full respec, and that was
Oh, you
fine.
were disenchanting stuff before?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just always nuking stuff. Maybe that's why I didn't have gold problems.
Oh yeah. No, I disenchant almost everything.
I was just vendoring everything.
Oh wow, that's interesting. How do you feel about crafting?
I think it's good. You basically engage with all the currencies. That's always been their goal, right?
Yeah. And are you happy about the fact that there's no scour, no alterations, no blast orb?
I think it's a good take on it. Yeah, I think it could work out pretty well. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's like I think of it in terms of like a game mechanic. Yeah, I think in terms of a game mechanic, it's good. But then
Yeah.
if they're trying to move over PoE 1 crew, they're like, well, where's the part of the game that I liked, right?
Yeah.
Where's it? I want to
Yeah.
craft cool stuff, and you just, what are you gonna do? Hand them like a dozen chaos orbs? Like, I don't know.
Well, the
So
drop rates
I
are
there's
significantly
there's like
higher
two
now.
sides to that.
Yeah. How do you feel about rare drop rates and currency after the patch notes, actually?
I was pretty okay with it before the patch notes too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it
Uh,
was okay.
I wasn't. I was, okay, so the most frustrating thing for me, like, I got very unlucky on gear. And I actually overfarmed quite a lot, but I got to maps with like one lightning res and like 30 fire, 30 cold, and I was like, I'm miserable. And then the worst frustrating thing was like the next day, I spent 16 hours and I got 2 white rings and 1 rare. And all of them, like I alked all of them and none of them hit. And then I spent 750,000 gold on gambling rings and I didn't hit anything. And that's when I was like, "Oh my god, I'm just really sad right now."
Were you checking vendors? Because they actually
Oh
have
yeah.
white
Oh
jewelry
yeah.
fairly often.
Oh, every
So you got
time I
unlucky there
level, I
too?
check vendors.
That's pretty unlucky then.
Yeah. Like now after the buffs though, like I'm Act 2 and I'm 42, 58, 24, and on my last character I was rest capped when I died. So it's been very, very noticeable, the change.
I
So,
did a tier 13 Waystone at the end of day 2, uh, with like 2 lightning resist.
oh wow.
So I guess it's a good thing they didn't nerf minions. Just keep on doing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
just got my GCP. Nice. Oh,
oh
whoa! It's
nice.
got 2.
What
What the
the?
hell?
Are you cheating? Oh, you're on the
I just
client.
got 2 GCPs on 2 mobs back to back at
Yo.
level 30. Sorry, level 40 now.
That's awesome. Oh, that's really good.
Emergency rollback incoming. Go kill some mobs, bro. They got your GCPs.
Oh, that's awesome. You were talking a little bit in your video about like one shots, especially about tier 15 and stuff. And I don't know if you've
Yep.
seen the pinnacle bosses.
I've seen the guys who are doing the overflow energy shield basically AFK them, yes.
Well, the Uber like still one shots people with 20k ES. So it does seem like, especially like the Uber mechanics, just seem like you can't tank them at all.
Hmm.
On some of those mechanics, it's like either you know the mechanic and you dodge, or you're gone. Which I think is
Um,
fine.
I didn't look into it too much. Like I know people did them, so I just like I saw like a clip of like I saw a few seconds of a clip of I think like Ventura killing them, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I wonder how long it'll take hardcore to kill them. It looks, yeah,
I don't
spicy.
I don't know if it's so much a hardcore thing. I think there's just a vast difference between trade and SSF right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
Like
it takes so long to
much more
find the
vast than there
keys.
is in PoE 1.
I 100% agree with that. I think I'm leaning more towards playing Trade League a lot more. I was actually starting to enjoy that more in PoE 1 as well, because the game has gotten like more interesting things to do. Um, but I'm playing a little bit. So I really want to get the boss down in SSF. But yeah, I think I'll end up playing trade a lot more. But you do lose out on a lot of that like progression of finding your own gear. Obviously, you can just buy whatever you want. Probably a little bit less available in hardcore than softcore. Like you were saying about Cassie's gear and stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of totally stuck with SSF. I just the idea of not having to trade is so appealing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I'm not like streaming or gaming or whatever, sure, sometimes you go on like a vacation or something, sure. But a lot of the time it's just like chores around the house and stuff. If I'm trading, it's just like doing more chores around the house. It's
Yeah.
not I want to actually play the game.
It's also like I feel a lot more incentivized to try different builds when I find something myself that is really, really cool for another build, instead of just going like, well, I'm not playing that, so I'm gonna sell it to somebody for 50 exalts.
I haven't played trade in a long time. So I don't
Yeah,
have a two side to this one. Uh, I cannot fathom playing trade in this game ever again.
that's
That's
fair.
that's basically
Do you
where I'm at.
miss
So
playing hardcore?
I am playing hardcore.
Oh, I did not know that. What level are you?
40.
Nice. What was there anything you felt was particularly challenging in hardcore that you wanted to overfarm for?
The monkey. I went on my softcore character to see how it worked, and it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, especially if you stay close to him.
No, screw that.
What?
You go on the opposite side of the pillar. The pillar blocks it and
Oh,
block
I'm so
blocks it.
scared of that after seeing Rise die to it. He got like shot through a tree. I don't know if it like only works through trees and not the
No, no,
pillar.
no. It's the checkpoint pillar. It's like this one thing.
Okay. I'm scared of that, man. I stayed on top of the monkey and I just blocked. Like most of his things can be blocked. And I had a really good time. I killed him like several times.
Several times.
Yeah, so I accidentally aggroed him a few times while going through the zone again. And
Well, the engage is pretty rough.
yeah,
That's
it
for
like just
sure.
runs at you. And I was like, I had so much damage anyway. I'm playing like Summon Raging Spirits. So I was like, it's faster and better for me to just stand here because I saw so many streamers dying from running away from him and getting hit by the long slam. And I didn't really want to risk that. So I just stood on top of him blocking. He only has like one red move that is unblockable, and everything else is yeah. Obviously, I had that shield, right? So I go full mana if I block anything.
Yeah, everything is blockable.
I think he has one red move. I'm not sure. I didn't see it though.
Even the red move is blockable.
Wait, really?
Well, I tested it before the patch, so you might want to test it again
Right.
before
I'm
doing
not
that on the
gonna
hardcore
test that on
character.
hardcore. I'm gonna dodge the red move.
Yeah.
I hope I get that shield again now that it got kind of buffed with the block thing, because I think I probably would have invested into block there, because getting like 50 passive block is gonna be pretty huge now that it's actual block
You think
again.
so? I
Yeah.
think it definitely depends. Like if you're playing like a warrior and you're like surrounded and you got like the two-hander shield set up, which is probably like overcommon now,
Hmm.
you definitely want that passive block because like you are attacking, right? But if you're playing minions, I feel like I'm like active block cast. Like I'm like untouchable if I need to be. Because even if I had like 75% block, if I'm playing hardcore,
Yeah, but you can
I'm
get
still gonna
surrounded
do
by a
that.
lot of things that hit you from behind.
Cannot get surrounded anymore though.
Mm. Oh, because of the new dodge roll. Yeah, maybe that
Yeah.
is enough. I still think it's just like a nice thing, and like there's a few like the axe throwers and some projectile monsters can be like catch you a little bit sometimes, and taking like half of those hits, and it's not even taking half of those hits, right? Because if I have that shield, it's the half of those hits make my mana just go to full. So
Mhm.
if I get hit by half the pack and the other half I block, then it's like not getting hit at all. So that's so strong with the new mom, I think. I really hope I get that shield. Oh, actually, I should try to chance orb that shield. That's what I should do.
I'm 0 for 3 on chance orbs, but I was trying for Dodri's ring, which is probably the only good unique that's like actually really good.
I've seen Dream Fragments is really good for mom. There's a few good amulets too, Astromentis and another man amulet. But yeah, I've
You
seen
think
all.
Astromentus is good?
Yeah, it depends on the build, but yeah, absolutely. But
I guess just a bunch of life.
there are a lot of bad uniques that I'm particularly frustrated with spellcaster leveling uniques. Like I found a life sprig, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But then I realized I found it at a higher level, so it's required level 36 to use it. And by level 36, I'm absolutely going to have a better weapon, because
Well,
the implicit skills for no reason.
I have a better story with Life Sprig if you want to hear it.
Okay, yeah.
So this was at the end of day 2 where I peaked at second on the ladder, and that's when I found a Life Sprig, which was required level like 83 or something. There's literally
Yeah.
2 characters in the game that could equip it at the time.
Yeah, I hate that type of scaling. Like, it would be okay if the rest of the stats scaled, so we get, like, I don't know, a +6 life spray or something, and it would actually be good. Um,
Well, it trolled me because I thought it was like an uber super high level unique. I was
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
like nah, it's just low level garbage tuned up.
Yeah, yeah. I do like the idea of scaling uniques, but not the way they currently scale. And I've seen so many uniques that I'm like, these are actual trash. Like, at least in PoE 1, most of the uniques that are bad, I'm like, okay, I would use this on League Start. Every unique I've found, except that shield, I've been like, yeah, I'm not using that.
Do you think that's just the standard for uniques? Like, do you think those Valdo puzzle boxes are worth a lot less than you think? It's like, well, okay, I would like your unique idea, but we're gonna take that powerful mechanic and turn it into 15% light radius.
I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. But I'm also like, so they were going to, or they are going to offer a unique design, and now I'm really worried, like, okay, you're gonna allow us to like buy a unique design. It's probably gonna be anywhere from like $3,000 to $10,000, but like, am I going to be allowed to actually make like a really like impactful unique? Because I'm pretty worried looking at the current uniques. Like, I don't want to do something that just has like 3 stats on it.
I feel like the most impactful unique in PoE 1 is Goldrin.
Oh, I was,
So
yeah, so I've been picking up felt caps for chance orbs.
does it exist in this game?
Yeah, Gold Rim is huge in PoE too. It's like 35 Ulvers.
Oh, okay.
Or is it
Well, I was
30
just
to
saying that
35?
because like I feel like a lot of the uniques I've seen made in recent times from like race winners, like Maven items and stuff. But like the most memorable unique in PoE 1 is Goldrun because it gets
Yeah.
memed on. And it's a level 1 item that people can get right away. And like second, maybe, or maybe even first would be what, like Tabula Rasa again, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
actually the low level stuff that's
True.
really the most impactful in a way.
Gold rim in PoE 2 is 25, 235 all rest, 10 rarity, and 50 evasion. Requires level
Wow.
10.
And that includes chaos.
No, all Ellie, so no chaos. But hey, I just found a felt cap. Now I just need a chance orb. I think last time I checked on Trade League, it was 50 exalts.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a lot of items up for like 50 exalts.
Hmm.
Um, Something else I talked about in your video was that like just blasting low level maps wasn't as worth it.
I think there's no value. Like if you do a low level map, you can get like loot volume, but you don't get any of like the tiered loot stuff.
Uh,
And the mechanics are pretty much a waste of time. Maybe expedition is okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's one difference from Ruthless and PoE 1. In PoE 1, like farming key low level maps was like a pretty big part of the strategy.
yeah,
That's like one thing they've deviated on, and I kind of like they go so far out of their way to make all currency meaningful in this game, but then at the map system, maps that are lower than what you can do are pretty much complete waste of time. So I don't know, it feels like it needs some work there.
yeah. I feel that. So I was talking about a similar thing where I really like it when a game is sort of split into like three types of farming, and I think RuneScape and Path of Exile 1 does this really well, where you have like the easy blast farming where it's like not like super challenging. It's kind of just like you're relaxing a little bit while playing, and you can sort of just like farm, do whatever, not have to pay 100% attention. Then you have somewhere like medium, which is like, you know, once you go further into maps, and maybe like some of the bosses, like map bosses, where you're not like, you don't have to sit there like super stressed out, like, oh my god, I need to dodge
Hmm.
this, I need to dodge that. And then you have like pinnacle bosses, endgame bosses, high level maps where you're 100% focused the entire time, like very oppressive gameplay. But I really like the distinction between those three, so you can sort of pick your pace, pick what like you want to play. But for a lot of people right now, obviously since the game is new, PoE2 is like very oppressive the entire time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of the point I made, so I don't really have
Yeah,
anything more to add.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've surprisingly seen a lot of people against that, where they're like, no, we want it to be like completely oppressive all the time, which I've been very surprised to see.
Hmm. I
Um,
don't know.
Death is my power to wield.
I still don't know exactly what game they want to make at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I really wonder how different will the game be at launch.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm having a lot of fun though. Like, only time I was frustrated was when I first got to maps. I was a little bit frustrated on Essence Drain because you have like,
I
there's
quite like the first map, like the very, very first map experience.
right.
It was like new for a little bit. I just kind of wanted to go around the node, see how they did bosses. It was like kind of exploratory a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that, but it's more, especially when the rare mobs only showed at 50 remaining. There were some big maps, and I was like running around for what
Yeah.
felt like forever, and I'm like,
Some
bro,
maps are so
this is
good. I
so
forget what it's
bad.
called. The ones on the shore are crazy good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like a double strand. It's like a strand and then it loops back the other way with shortcuts in between if you missed mobs. It's
Yeah.
like S plus 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 tier, you know?
There are some maps on the other hand too that are like just so long mazes where like if you miss
Yeah.
the mob at the start, it's just like forever backtracking. And I was like, wow, this sucks. Sandpit, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one I liked.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was like Fortress maybe that was awful, but or Crypt. I don't know. There were a few that were just like
Up there.
super
Lead the
annoying.
pack.
Mm.
So what build are you right now?
I don't know if you know this, but the build everyone's playing, I made it a day before the game came out.
Okay, nice.
So now everyone's playing it, and now I'm the meta loser. So Just
You're
playing the
meta
meta build.
loser.
Yeah.
So is that... Oh my god, I'm actually dying here fighting Wrathbreaker. Man, this guy's scary. So you're playing the Summon Raging Spirit build?
I mean, I think the arsonists do the lion's share of the damage. You obviously use the raging spirits, of course. But
Yeah. I miss having my shield, dude.
Why is it so different without it?
Now.
Oh,
You
because I
don't
could
own?
just like, on Wrathbreaker, I just like held my heavy block and I was just immortal.
So you did use that with Mind Over Matter?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I mean, that
He's
is kind
dead.
of insane.
Yeah, I mean, I never, throughout the entire campaign, went below my mana. I never took life damage at any point.
How did you feel like setting that up? Like, is it possible to like mana stack right away, or did you have
Oh
like a
yeah,
multi-step?
I literally rushed on both my characters, like level 17 or 19. On this one is 19 because I took slightly more optimal pathing for late game. I went Minor Matter and it was really good. Later on, when I started having over 1,000 mana, recovery became a bit of a pain, and I had a lot of mana nodes, like the Arcane Blossom for recovery rate, and I was about to take the Recoup and stuff like that.
Oh, I hate Recoup. Recoup is so bad in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely worse than in PoE1.
I mathed it. I saw like people like talking about Recoup builds, and then I just did like a little bit of napkin math, and I'm like, wow, this is horrendous. Because
Oh
like
yeah.
you can basically just, you know, it's damage that you take regen over 8 seconds,
Is
right?
it 8? Oh, damn, I thought it was 6.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I thought
Yes,
it was
Recoup is
6.
8 seconds in PoE2. It's garbage.
Damn. Yeah.
The chrono node sets it to 4, so that one is okay. But yeah, baseline it's 8, so it's just like unusable.
Damn.
Like if I'm missing health, my health is topped with a health potion in 2 seconds. Like I don't care that I'm.
Yeah. Yeah.
This doesn't do anything.
That is actually pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of running out of nodes to take. Like there's so many that are like pretty far traveling. So I'm doing minion instability, raging spirits. It's been working pretty well.
I haven't used the spirit when your minion dies thing because it's bugged and they.
I fixed
I
that
mean,
now.
I generally try not to use bugged stuff. Well, it's
Yeah.
still. I don't know if it's after the patch, but it was still counting. It was still counting raging spirits that died from like combat damage.
Yeah, I didn't use that either.
Yeah. So I don't like to use bug stuff in general, but also like they nerfed warrior like a day and I just found a third GCP. Something's definitely sus right now.
I mean, they
Sus on
did say that they were
GCPs.
increasing it by
Start killing mobs.
500%.
Start killing mobs, guys. Something is not right. This is as many GCPs as I've found in 4 days, including the yesterday when it was supposedly fixed.
I haven't found one yet, but I'm low level now. Oh, I wish I still had my high level.
Actually log in, guys. Actually log in.
That was good.
Damn, what were we talking about? Sorry.
We were talking about Recoup.
No, it was something else.
Oh, 15 MS boots with 7 chaos res. Yo. Hello? I'm regaling that. I regaled life. Oh man. That's tempting. I kind of want to use those at some point. I find so many Exalted Orbs in Act 1. I'm almost tempted to just keep making Act 1 characters. I got 8 in Act 1.
Oh yeah, we're talking about like bugged energy shield recovery spirit skill thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so having not used that, my main character was a life stacker. So I actually didn't get the life conversion node. I just got the small life nodes because they're 3%.
Right.
So I got up to 3,000 life and like 5,000 armor. I had 7 PDR and like I had decent chaos resist also. And I had like just literal life regen. It's not too bad because you can get like You can get some life regen with the vitality. You can get some life regen with
How much did you have roughly?
the font. How much what?
How much life regen did you have roughly?
Like 100,
Oh,
but
that's pretty good.
you know, with 3,000 life, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I tried that approach, and I think it worked pretty well. It stopped working well when I was just getting one shot by every single boss, which was
Ooh.
like T15 maps.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I do? There literally is nothing to do. Like, the only people not getting one shot on Infernal lists were basically using overcapped Spirit with bug mechanics.
Yeah.
This time I'm gonna get all the hybrid nodes, so armor ES. And there's a node that like 40% of your armor is energy shield recharge rate converted. So if you get that, all the hybrid nodes are like super efficient. So I'm
Ah.
gonna try that. Basically fast recovery. Like I'm gonna get faster start of recovery on the tree, and I'm just gonna stack armor and ES to get like the recovery rate going crazy.
Yeah.
Because with active block, it should be pretty good. So that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try life and ES, like a proper hybrid, and I'm not even gonna use the minion one.
Did you think about
Like I
going
think,
minor matter with Eldritch Battery? That's what I was doing.
I've been a bit reluctant with the mana systems, but I guess some people have had pretty good luck with it.
The only thing that's kind of sad about it is that you can't scale energy shield the same way. Like, because if you take anything like increased energy shield, it doesn't affect your
The
mana.
cross scaling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably for the best. It feels so wrong though, as a decade-long PoE
Yeah.
one enjoyer, right? It's just like, no. No.
Yeah, I do think having actual energy shield probably will be probably the #1 way to survive on hardcore. I wish I just had like a better way to recover it. It feels a little bit, you know, any fight with like burning ground or something where it's like not letting you recharge and also whittling it down. It feels very punishing.
Burning Ground is like insane.
Yeah.
Like in T15 maps, it's like with max fire res, it's more than a potion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very
Crazy.
scary for sure. Like I was, because I went mom very early. Like this character, I'm leveling as a summoner from the start, but my other character I was playing Essence Drain. So I really wanted to make that work. It's like something I've played so much in PoE1, and I was like, I should try it. But it's you have so limited scaling for Essence Drain, you don't really have an ascendancy. And the summons like the Hellhound and stuff, I was gonna have that to like be some sort of like soak meat shield. But if you have no minion nodes, that thing is just insta dead, does nothing. Oh, actually, one thing that's been frustrating for me, I don't know how you feel about it, is like when your minions are respawning, sometimes when something else dies, it'll restart the entire timer. Even if it's like 1 second left, boom, something else dies, timer starts
Yep.
over. I hate it so much.
So I understand where they're coming with that, where they're coming from with that. The main issue that I really have is apparently the timer that it took for like things to res was twice nerfed. So now we basically just spend most of the passive nodes trying to reverse the nerf that they had in like alpha or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it beats having to find like corpses and stuff, right?
Yeah, I
Like
mean, I do
PoE 1
like the idea
version.
of it like auto-reviving and stuff. I just wish they were like individually resurrecting. I don't mind that
That
they're
would just be like
slow.
way too strong, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You still have to invest so much into minion life and stuff for them to survive.
I think part of the reasoning that they may have had is that with their current mechanic, the larger minion army you have, the more you have to invest in survivability.
Yeah.
I
Like, it
really
just
think the main culprit of this system feeling terrible is if you run one screen away from your minions, they all die, and that also like messing with that timer just feels terrible.
yeah.
I think that's a big part. But I think the reason they have that mechanic is because minions are getting stuck all the time on indoor areas, especially. So I
Yeah,
think it actually goes back to a hitbox issue, which is something I think they really should take a look at. But I don't know if they're going to, because you know, if everything has tiny ass hitboxes, then suddenly the game is way easier. So I don't know.
I'm definitely trying to get into the mentality of like using the send minions hotkey to like send them in before I go in.
I'm not doing that. The way
Yeah.
that I play is I'm the tank for my minions. I just go in, I
No,
throw
but
up
I'm
active
talking
block.
about them getting stuck before going
Yeah.
into the fight. Like I was doing Viper, I went in, I'm like, cool, I don't have my minions, so I just have to resurrect a checkpoint and start over here. I actually had so many bugs there, like when they, you know, when they fight or push in to like make the circle smaller, I just got stuck inside them, and I was like, I can't move. Hello.
Yeah.
I feel like Viper and the Titan are like the two most buggy fights. Although, I was surprisingly happy there wasn't any boss that was like 100 times more damage than it should be. So that was nice. I was very worried about that.
Have you started using shield charge at all?
No, I didn't like shield charge at all.
Oh, I love shield charge.
Oh, really? I guess what I didn't like about it was like the activation attack speed kind of thing, where it like you raise the shield and then charge kind of thing. It's a bit sluggish.
I hate to destroy
You can control it though. It's like going for a zoom ride. I love the impactfulness of like the melee skills, including
Right.
that one.
Yeah, no, I haven't really used that. Can you use leap slam with a scepter? I'm guessing you can't.
You cannot.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, okay, you can. You have to use a scepter
And a
and a
weapon.
mace.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't know. This is sort of how I felt with Ruthless too, where I would love something like Flame Dash, just with like a long cooldown, so that if you see like, you know, the Doriani Slam or something, you have like a 20-second cooldown Flame Dash.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to totally disagree with that. That sounds terrible.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I think Diablo 2's biggest mistake was putting Enigma in the game, and I think PoE 1's biggest mistake was putting Flame Dash and Flame Dash-like abilities in the game.
There is a
'Cause
big
suddenly they have
difference
to
between
balance everything
Enigma.
around people having multiple teleports. And it's just
Yeah.
like, you just cannot win that battle.
Sure, but there's a big difference between like spamming a movement skill and having a 20-second cooldown. Like you
Well,
can get blink at the moment, but then you do lose your
you're
dash.
absolutely right in that sense, but I wouldn't like that either, because then,
Sure.
you know, it's like you either got it or you just sit there and die. Oh my god, I just died.
Wait, actually?
I didn't see them at all.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Oh, ripping pepperonis, boys.
Ah,
It was a good run.
what level were you?
Like 41 or something.
Oh my god. Oh, that's pretty far into it too. What got you?
Exactly the same thing that got you. I was doing like an off screen at the bottom of the map, so you have like the least amount of visibility. I didn't realize it was the chaos thing, and I didn't see the ground. But maybe I wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure.
Sounds like the same thing that happened to me. That's very funny that like I died while watching your video and you died while talking to me.
Let me see here. Let's see if it updated.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, I thought, because I'm not used to the mobs. I thought the mob was literally shooting things at me. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was the ground thing.
Yeah.
Because see, where I'm running, they don't show on the ground. It literally don't show through the foliage until
Yeah,
they
that's
blow up.
kind of bullshit. You can't see the purple things very
You
well
cannot
there.
see them.
Oh, that is actually tragic. That's kind of BS. In the area I died to them, I could have seen them if I was paying attention.
Like they're literally not there.
Yeah.
They're actually not there. And then I'm dead.
That is really annoying.
Yeah. The thing is, if it wasn't that, it probably would have been another like pretty dumb mechanic.
Yeah. Are you going again, hardcore?
Maybe not today.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. It's frustrating. Especially because it's like so, the campaign is so long. How do you feel about the campaign length actually compared to PoE 1 and stuff?
I think we suck right now, so
Yeah, for sure.
I think we'll get that fixed once we suck less. I guess is kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I think currently I've seen people doing it. I think like 11 hours is the fastest I've heard. Which is like,
11 hours
yeah,
for like 1 through 6.
yeah, full campaign.
I could see that.
Which is pretty okay, but that's still like, that's like Ben. He is pretty good.
Is that though on like Ranger with
So
super fast now nerfed mechanics type of thing?
yeah, it is. It is. So it would be slower. Although that skill, even though nerfed, is still quite viable. Like people are still playing that in the top 10. So it's not like dead nerfed.
I mean, how nerfed is it?
People are still playing it, so it's kind of hard for me to say exactly, but it is still being
I
played.
mean, I feel like if they nerf my build, I'd still play something pretty close to it. That's why like I'm curious.
Yeah. Oh, and Steel did 12 hours on Warrior, and that's like still the same.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, I believe that's on. Yeah, that's on softcore. Obviously you can go a bit faster there.
One thing I kind of wanted to try was a Pillar of the Cage God build, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you need a Instrumentus for that, or do you not think you need one?
Oh yeah, I guess perhaps. Perhaps.
So I actually have a Pillar of the Cage card, but I don't feel like I have that much like strength related gear or anything.
So you need to stack both strength and dexterity.
Yeah.
If you just stack strength, it's not enough. If you strength and dexterity, you get like 200% attack speed.
Right. So one thing we were thinking about yesterday, like I've seen people playing the Deadeye Lightning Arrow Lightning Rod build, and there's like super good damage really fast. Looks really fun, but it's not that tanky. Sai had a fun idea of like doing that on the Gemling Legionnaire using the satisfy your stat requirements with anything, so you can strength stack, and then you get like even more strength to get a little bit of survival. But the big problem with that is you still need dex for the bow. So
Oh, I see.
you might just have to use a lower base and be full elemental and not go like fizz plus immersion. It might work, but that'd be pretty cool. I feel like there's a lot of builds will, especially early, be really tricky to get going. Like I've seen a lot of monk builds being like really safe, really good in the end game, but like getting through the campaign on a monk is like gonna be difficult.
I haven't really played the melee classes that much.
Yeah.
I just see people kind of struggling with them. It feels like all their skills and stuff look pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I mean, I never really know exactly where it lands, right?
Yeah. So are you going again on a summoner?
I mean, I probably won't start a new character today. Like I was gonna stream like, 2-3 more hours or something.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna get very far. I am still contemplating trying a pillar build.
That'd be cool.
Maybe.
What's the level requirement on
Maybe.
it? Can you use it from very early or?
Yeah, 0.
Ah. That's interesting.
Fine. Maybe we'll screw around on a pillar. Let's see what that's like.
Nice. That sounds fun. I'm sorry you died, man.
What level was I? I was like 41.
Yeah.
Ranya's been playing a bit too, but we had a pretty busy week outside of me streaming, I guess. So she's just before the last boss in Act 3. That's pretty good.
Oh, nice. How's she liking it?
She was hating it in like Act 1 early parts,
Yeah.
and then it picked up significantly from that.
Right. That's good. I'm glad she's enjoying it.
Yeah, like the very, very first few bosses, I think, were just like miserable. I mean, they kind of are. I'm sure you have a little bit of experience with that. And yeah,
Yeah.
Act 2 and on, she found it easier.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like a few things have been a little frustrating, especially like the first go around. Once you get to Cruel, I feel like you have your build like mostly sorted and you have more of an idea on what to do and stuff.
Please, what?
Hmm?
Nothing.
Right. Well, awesome. Thanks so much for doing a call with me, dude. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
And then hope your reroll goes well, and hope Pillar of the Cage God works out.
Well, if I do Pillar, it's not going to be on hardcore, so
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
we'll see. I might get the experience of the non-summoner just for a little bit of a teaser and see what it's like.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good luck on that, and yeah, we'll chat again another time. I'll see you later, dude.
See ya. Thanks, Ziz.
Bye. Awesome. Guys, that was Creparian. We'll link it in the description of the video if you're watching on YouTube, and we can link it in chat now and just do a shout out on Twitch. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this sort of like farm talks. I want to talk to a lot of different people, but I don't really want to stop playing the game. So obviously it will be a little bit more distracted than a full podcast where we're just sitting talking one-on-one. But I really enjoy doing these talks and I don't want to stop farming. So hopefully people don't hate the format. I guess we'll just call them Zizaran's farm talks because I love doing it while farming. It's really fun. I just tune down the volume a bit. But either way, thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video. Let me know who you want me to talk to next. But try to die less than I do.